Growing up, there was nothing quite like running into the living room first thing in the morning and tuning into your favorite Saturday morning cartoons. There was no shortage of awesome. You had Captain N, He-Man, Doug, Rugrats, Spider-Man, Batman, the X-Men. God damn, we lived in a time of animated brilliance. Seriously, a lot of these shows still hold up today, even though the FCC was up the producer's ass. But wait, what is that far off into the distance? Is it perhaps the pursuit of corporations preying on tech-retarded parents and childhood fantasies? Yes, of course it was! So many popular Saturday morning cartoons ended up getting its own equivalent video game. And how exciting was this? Not only did you get to plop down and watch your favorite cartoon characters save the day, but now you could be in the driver's seat. And then you turn them on and realize what an inevitable turd these games always became. So let's dive in and find out just what made these top 5 worst Saturday morning cartoon games the worst. NES Edition.
Number 5.
The Three Stooges. The absolute pinnacle of slapstick comedy. I bought this game off of eBay for a couple bucks, and when somebody recommended it to me, suggesting it was one of the worst games they ever played, well, of course I had to get it. So let's try it out. Wait, I thought I bought... I mean the label... Oh, you boys! Oh, you got me good! That's right, the game fucking trolled me in the first 2 seconds. I genuinely thought somebody from eBay scammed me.
You're the wrong game! Hey, this looks like a kid's game. You imbecile!
I normally crap all over voices in NES games, but this actually isn't too bad. So as the story has it, some smug asshole threatens to shut down the orphanage if they don't pay rent within 30 days. Or that heartless prick is going to shut the place down. So it's up to you to save the day by playing a series of mini-games to collect money and help pay off the debt. Look, I don't know why this is my responsibility. Don't look at me like that! Freeloading, kids. Send them to the coal mines! To make money every day, the game randomly selects one of 6 generated jobs based off Three Stooges skits. There's throwing paws at the rich, trivia, there's also walking. Seriously, fuck this game. It's miserable. It's almost impossible to get anywhere. You trip over everything. Oh, and don't forget, beat the shit out of your friends. And the absolute worst minigame in existence, the cracker eating contest. You start off by getting your jerk-off stance good and ready, and then let the games begin. Your job's to scoop up the oysters out of the soup before they eat the crackers, I guess? The problem is they disappear way too fast, and when you do miss them, this asshole acts like he just watched his loved ones die right in front of him. And screams. And screams. Ugh, the screams. If you manage to save up enough money at the end, not only do you get to pay their rent and fix their building, you're now allowed to marry one of their 3 daughters from the orphanage. Wait. Whoa. Something's not right here. How old are these girls?
Number 4.
While still a driving force in entertainment today, back in the 90s there was a full-blown Simpsons hysteria. From shirts, pogs, this thing, everything you think of had Simpsons brand on it at one point or time. So it should come to no surprise that the popular series spawned its own series of video games. And while all 3 of them were absolute garbage, one stood out to be the absolute worst of them all. That's right, Art vs. the Space Mutants. So the title screen is immediately recognizable as The Simpsons, but everything else is just creepy and weird. The premise of the game is a race of evil aliens landed on the Earth and are taking over human bodies to gather objects to power their superweapon. The aliens plan to destroy the world by fueling their superweapon with random pointless items depending on which level you're on. Yep, you heard me. Their super powerful weapon is fueled by items like the color purple, hats, an exit sign. You know, those high-grade explosive exit signs. Oh, you didn't know? The first level takes you through Springfield, where you're tasked with running around the city, spray painting everything orange. Though the game looks crude, it actually does showcase a small chunk of Springfield and cameo a few Simpsons characters. Yep. And that's the only nice thing I'm gonna say about this game, because once you get behind the road, it's like trying to control a drunk dog with vertigo. The enemies in this game really make it a pain in the ass. You can't touch anything or you get hurt. People walking by don't always hurt you, but they could if they're an alien in disguise, and the only way to check is if you equip the X-ray specs, and when you're trying to spray paint something and one of them walks up to you, it's a fucking panic to get the specs out to check. Because once you take 2 hits, man, you're done.
Number 3.
Bugs Buddy. Some of my favorite childhood memories were waking up bright and early on a Saturday morning just to watch this cartoon. Heck, even today I can sit down and watch the old 80s, 90s episodes and still crack a smile. Something so nostalgic about it. The game starts off with Bugs getting an invitation to a birthday party held in his honor. Boy, we're only 3 sentences in and they're really nailing home the plot here. Invitation? He got an invitation? Oh, what's that? What's that, Bugs? You've been invited somewhere for your birthday party? What? Why am I so bitter? Maybe I'm jealous? Speaking of jealous, apparently all of Bugs' closest friends are pissed off that they've never had a party in their honor and will stop at nothing to prevent Bugs from showing up to his own party. I'm gonna cut to the chase on this one because we all know it's gonna suck. The entire game is just WB's way of slapping their logo in your fucking face. Every time you hit a carrot block, it turns into a WB sign. The biggest kick in the bag is you can't stand on these blocks until they show the WB symbol. I don't know how many times I've died just thinking I'm gonna jump onto these blocks, but no, right through to my death. The levels themselves are fucking terrible. The first level's not too bad, but once you pass this milestone, oh man, it's all downhill from here. You have quicksand, falling rocks, there's exploding platforms, and I mean these things will blow up the second you come in contact with them. It's fucking annoying. And at times, you can rarely see what's going on below you, so jumping from one place to another is always a leap of faith. The enemies are weird as hell too. You've got a Salt Guy, Hammerhead, Exploding Clock, and frogs! No, not that frog. Just frogs. There are multiple cameos from other WB characters like Daffy Duck, Tweety, Wile E. Coyote, and so many more. But I mean, they're all being complete asshats, and are the utmost concerned with making their friend's life a living hell. On his birthday. Once you make it to the very end, you get the surprise party you were completely aware of, and yet it still scared the shit out of him! See? Oh, really? It was all just a silly trick? All a silly trick?
Number 2.
Rocky and Bullwinkle was a long-running cartoon series about a moose and a squirrel duo thwarting Russian mobsters? Or something like that. Anyway, here's the game. Wait, do you enjoy this tune? I hope so, because the music does not get any better. It will give you a headache in less than 30 seconds, and it gets arguably worse and more obnoxious the further you get in. Well, let's hear it for earplugs, kids. We find our heroes on the journey of a lifetime as they... Sweet baby Jesus! If you look at the majestic boreal landscape, look, I get it's on the NES, but they could have at least tried. I could have done that in MS Paint in seconds. In fact, wait, look, watch. The game starts you off and you have to avoid and pick up bombs, I guess, just to make it to the opposite side of the screen. It's your basic platformer, run and jump, and you switch between Rocky and Bullwinkle with the select button. They both have an ability. Rocky can fly, of course, and Bullwinkle is... Holy shit! Well, I don't know what I expected. Another detail that just kills me is every single sound effect interrupts every other sound in the game. You think interrupting the music would be a great thing in this case, but no. It just makes everything sound more chaotic. The shit-smeared icing on this devil's food cakes when you finally make it to the end, and you're not even faced with the boss. You just walk to the right side of the screen, and it's done. Yep, I'd rather it just said Finn and ended it all, but no! We get this. It doesn't even make sense. That does. That makes sense.
Number 1.
Peter Pan and the Pirates. Based on a popular early 90s cartoon series with the same namesake, Peter Pan and the Pirates was a show about adventure, friendship, and pirates. It's easy to see how a concept like this could translate into a great action game. But even before you hit the start button, you can see the deep over-encumbering pain that Peter is in. So the game starts off in a forest, and while the background of the level is pretty well done, everything else is the same fucking color. The pirates, the fire, the spiders, everything in the foreground is always the same color, and getting close enough to hit anything is just difficult and a pain in the ass. Not only because they're hard to differentiate from your character, but your attack is the most pathetic poke ever. You have to be right up against the enemy for it to work. They could have given you something that at least stands out a little more, and once you hit level 5, the game is barely playable. The background is red, you're red, the enemies are red, the fucking falling projectiles are red, and you know what else is red? My fucking face right now! The enemies are nothing special. You have fat pirates, not so fat pirates, pirates with guns, bats, cannons, Ridley second cousin twice removed, and spiders. Oh, the spiders are fucking terrible. Most of the time they just appear when they're already halfway down the screen. Your life bar is actually the number of treasures you have, and every time you're hurt, you lose treasures. And once you lose them all, you think you would die. Nope. Just back to the beginning. Not even a notification, they just hurl you right back to the fucking start. Not to mention Peter's walking is really annoying. Every time you get close to an incline, he has to stop and hop. Just go! Just take it from me, this game is not worth your pain and suffering. Learn from my mistakes and stay away. What are the worst TV show-based games you've ever played? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel to show your support. Leave a comment below with what you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.